Now it's going. Yeah. It's always that awkward, like, waiting period. All right. We're back, and we're all very excited, as you can see from our faces, to be here doing WDL Radio the Monday after the Super Bowl. I am Human Bones, and as always, it seems like I am joined by Alt Stab.
What's up?
And Demon Sphere.
Yo.
What's going on?
Just chilling.
Just chilling?
Yeah.
Not shit.
Not shit, yeah. Not shit, just like this broadcast is going to be. It's going to be not shit. So, obviously, we had the draft last week, which was pretty exciting. 8 captains, of course. So, week 1, this is week 1. We're already here. We are playing map 20. And we didn't really get a chance to talk about the teams much sort of in depth after the draft itself. So we're going to go through, we're going to talk about all 8 teams and the matchups that they're going to have on map 20. So there's only one game scheduled right now. It's Sunday, February 12th at 2 p.m. EST. So we'll start with that game first. That is the High Friction Men, and they are playing the Giant Pea Shooters. So in case you're not familiar with those teams, the High Friction Men are Killing Blair, Godlike, Wazup, and Von Doom McDoom. And the Giant Pea Shooters are Altstab, Zack, and Dragon, and Tony. So, High Friction Men. Blair, Godlike, Wazup. The thing that comes to mind first for me is frags. I think if these guys can stay warmed up and practiced enough, they're going to outfrag most of these teams. I might see some issues maybe scoring flags. Defense will not be a problem, but offense probably they might be lacking a little bit. But overall, I think they're a balanced team. Like, I think all 3 of those guys can play any position. Blair is, of course, very seasoned defender and runner. Wazup, I think, more recently has made, maybe cut his teeth as a really good runner in the WDL. And Godlike, I think Godlike's a great mid. He's been playing a lot of really good mid or D in private CTF. So I think these 3 guys, they might have some growing pains because, like I said, I just don't see I don't know, like if Blair were to run, for example, I see them lacking on defense. So they might have to try and figure that out. But overall, I think Blair had a really strong draft. He picked up 2 mid-tier players for, the majority of his money. And that's all you really could have asked for with this kind of a draft that we had.
Yeah. Actually, I played one of his team members earlier today in duel. Wazup. I dueled him, and he definitely is back to his old former self, being able to hit one-shots and, crazy reaction time. He was, I think he got 43 on me on Mu2D, which is pretty impressive because last time I dueled him, he was in the late 20s was his maxing out point on Mu2D. So he's definitely getting back in the groove, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at fragging. That's what he does the best is he makes those one shots. There's question marks on every team. I was talking about that last night with Ralphus. Every single team has a question mark, which is, partly a byproduct of us going to 8 teams and sort of spreading, the talent out. But I guess with them, I would agree that the question mark offense might be a little questionable. There's not a pure runner on that team. There's somebody that just is a dedicated O. But as what was it, Zack and Ty, I think, showed, you don't necessarily need that because on that team they had Wazup run and he put up great stats that year. So I don't think that's actually their biggest problem. I think that none of them are really a true D, right? I don't think of Wazup as a D. I think of him when I think of Wazup. I think put him at mid or wherever the most shit needs to get killed,
Yeah.
And like Blair can play D, but like he's, in the preseason made his preferences known, like he's like everybody keeps putting me at D. I don't know why. I've never been a D. He's like, I don't like D.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a
There's something
mid
out of
player. Yeah.
You're a mid player, yeah. And
Yeah.
Godlike, I feel like it has a preference for O on some maps, mid on some maps, and D on some maps. But like, I wouldn't say he's sort of like the jack of all trades, but not like, I don't want to say master of none. That I guess that was where I was going. That sounds like dickish, but you know what I mean. Like he's not like put
He
him
isn't known for being like a great D or like a great offense or great mid, but he's
it
like
depends on the map with him, right? It's not like a set it forget it position with him either. So, it'll be interesting to see like their chemistry week one, see if they've already figured it out or if it'll take them a few weeks. But the potential to be a really good team just because of the obvious like high frag power with all three. So
it's a fraggy map too at mid.
Yeah.
Fraggy map at mid.
Not a good draw for me. No good. It's no good.
Yeah, I think you made a good point actually.
Oh yeah, for once.
No, you make some good points. No, they do have a problem on defense. You're right. No true defenders. But I think they have some time to figure that out because, I think the obvious choices are Cabler and Was Up defending. One of those two guys defending and one of them running. So, well, you know what? It just really depends on the map, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely potential there for them to figure that out. And the good thing about Godlike, sandwiched in between those guys, is he's such a movable piece. He really can play any position. And it's not like you feel like you're deficient where he's playing, so you can move him around as needed too. So I think that's going to help them when they're trying to figure out their positions on each map. So yeah, I really like that team. They're going to be tough, especially map 20. Yeah, I do not envy you, although I play Ralph. So and of course your team GPS. You've drafted Zakin, Dragon, and Tony. To me, the best draft that a captain had all season, for this season, I should say, in terms of the money that you spent and the players that you got for your value, their value. Definitely the best draft. You've got Zakin, who was a really late sign up, but hasn't really lost any of his skill. He was always a really sharp defender, especially with his ping. He's been pretty amazing. Dragon can play any position. And, of course, Tony as your fourth, no slouch at all. He's basically a starter, as a fourth. So, you have a lot of versatility there, and you have a lot of knowledge as well. So I think you're going to find yourself having a good problem, which is everyone is good at every position, and you just got to figure out based on the map which one you're going to play. So I would not be envious, or I would be envious of that issue.
I think we're a little more set than in say that last team though. Like I definitely feel comfortable with just a Zach and D and Dragon and I figuring out mid and O, but I think mostly Dragon mid. I think that that's kind of like his ace position is the way I view it. And then, hopefully I can bring him home. That's the idea right now, but we'll see.
Yeah. I was talking to Dragon this morning actually about that, how you guys don't have necessarily a dedicated O. And he was telling me about the practices, defense is kind of pretty okay. Any three of you can play defense, but not all three of you can run the greatest or whatever. And I was like, well, you guys are all pretty well, pretty good support players. All three of you are. So I don't know. I said, maybe you at mid and him run would be better. And he's like, well, I don't run. I was like, yeah, but Stab's really smart about pushing up at mid and stuff. And Zach and also pushes up at D, so I
Yeah.
trust that. But it's like it's kind of like the opposite of Blair's team, I would say. So
Yeah.
See, and you know what I had to do? Like, Dragon saying that he doesn't run. You know what I had to do to convince him to run, which was to have horrible games as a defender, which was not on purpose, but it happened that way where it was like, I've talked about it in the playoffs the final. What was it? Yeah, it was the playoffs last season where we started off playing. I was defending, or he was defending, and I was playing mid or something, and we just didn't do that well. And I was like, all right, you got to run. And as soon as he started running, we got all these flags, and so it's like it might be one of those kind of things where it's like, okay, he doesn't want to run, but at the end of the day, that is totally the best option because I think Dragon is, to me, up there in the top 3 runners in the WDL. So
yeah, he doesn't think it, but I definitely think
he doesn't
he's
think it
a
for some
really good
reason.
runner.
But
I think
he
he's a
is.
really, really good runner. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. We tried some different lineups, like we've tried every combination so far, and like, I don't know. Honestly, like, we've been winning our games in practice, but just barely. Like, we're not blowing anybody out with any. And some of the lineups we tried just didn't do well. So anyway, yeah, we'll have to put some work in. It'll come. It'll come to us. Yeah.
Yeah. So the matchup itself, I see because of the problem on defense that you pointed out for HFM. I see you guys having the upper hand there only because maybe nobody wants to run on your team, but you're all very capable of doing it. So I think you'll settle in on something, and on a map like that where you've got somebody like Dragon playing mid and supporting, and he can just kind of push the entire team into their base, and
That's
maybe maybe having Zach and push up as well. I think you guys will have especially after practicing with you guys a lot of opportunities where you can sort of force them into their own base and just basically power your way out. So
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think you guys will end up taking this one, and
plus I don't think any of them are as good on D like as you are on 20. Like you're, pain in the fucking dick. I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I guess that's a good thing, but yeah.
Yeah, my prediction is I think Stab's team is going to take it in 3, actually.
Yeah, I think they're going to put up a fight, but ultimately GPS will take it in 3. So that should be a good game. Yeah. The next game on the schedule. None of the other games have been scheduled yet. So next up is the Superchargers versus the Sexual Panthers. On the Superchargers this season, we've got Ralphus, Hopes, Dosu, and Dranzer. And the Sexual Panthers are Human Bones, Rude, Daston, and Evolution. So as far as Suck goes, actually one of Ralph's better drafts in a couple of years. He needs...
Really?
I think so, and I'll explain why. He needs a defender that can shut things down in order for him to do his thing. And that's what he got in Dranzer. Dranzer was high up on my list. I wanted Dranzer. And Dranzer's, he's just one of those shutdown guys, I mean, he's catapulted himself into the upper tier. He was in my upper tier in the draft.
Same here.
Yeah. And, I mean, any map you put him on, he's just, his reaction time, his aim, I've been saying it for a while. It's up there with some of the best. And so with that, I don't think Ralphus is really going to have to do a lot of worrying on defense. And if he does, Dranzer has taken it upon himself to run a lot in private CTF too. So I think he's been working on that. But Dranzer shutting down D, and then you've got Hopes, who for me personally, I've only played with him in Prive a handful of times, but he's very, very good, and I think Ralphus can mold him into a good mid player, if not, the other way around, where Hopes is doing the running and Ralphus is kind of supporting him. So I think this is actually a good team for Ralph. Right off the bat. So I don't anticipate too many problems with them, and especially on a map like map 20. That's a good Ralphus map.
20 is a great Ralphus map, and like Dosu, he has a new ping, new ISP or whatever, so he has really low ping. He's got a better mic, so he can communicate. So we did practice against him the other day, and when I first saw the team on paper, I kind of was like, yeah, there's nobody. That's kind of an easy team. Like Ralphus is scary on O, but he doesn't have anybody to really back him up that well on mid or D. And Dranzer, I hadn't seen him really play D lately. He's been playing a lot of like mid and O on the Priv games I've been in. And Dranzer can really hold down defense now. He has, like Bone said, he has really good reaction time. He has really good aim. So something in the last 6 months or so like must have clicked in Dranzer's head, or he just played more, or something like that. But yeah, it was not a like cakewalk or anything getting flags out of that base with Dranzer.
I think it's. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Ralphus, on a map like that, map 20, Ralphus, he has that straightforward running, and he can also, be really tricky with like 3 entrances to the base or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see this game play out. Like I said, Ralph and Dranzer. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with, according to the practice I've done with him.
I think that Ralphus did a good job. And, it's going to be one of those, like, underrated things until people get to see it in action,
Yeah.
Like, Ross King kind of had a draft like that, I feel like. Although the only, I guess, unknown here is the same. Well, Hopes was drafted by Ross King, which is kind of funny. But, like, Hopes, at mid, right? Like, if you're going to say Dranzer on D, which I do agree with, and you say it's in the last 6 months, I mean, I remember.
I would argue that it's been since he was on Suck with me.
When he was on Suck, like you guys were playing on what the hell map 21, and he was playing D there. He was subbing in for Torvald.
Oh, that was my team. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was SXP. He was subbing in for Tor on that map because like he was shredding it on D there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he was playing good on.
Then in the finals, I put him in on 32.
32.
Kicked some ass there too. So.
And then if you've ever seen him, I know all those Xandro guys, like play really well on 31. But like if you put him in, if you see him,
so hard to play badly on.
but he will come up with 200 plus points, and like he'll get over 100 frags like on that in Prive. I saw him do that. Couple years ago, like so I think he's always had the raw skill as a defender. Maybe he's put some things together a little better now, where because like some people had complained that he would I don't know, like I've heard some people say that he'd take a frag over a flag, and I don't think that's the case anymore, if it ever was.
Yeah.
But
nothing inherently wrong with that, depending on your position. But
right.
But
then Hopes at mid, like Hopes is another one of those dudes that he's like he's known for his dueling ability, which he's like a top dueler, right? Like Demon Sphere, what would you say about his dueling ability?
He's a pretty good dueler, yeah. I haven't dueled him that much recently. I don't know.
Back in the day, though.
Back in the day, yeah. Back in the day, I played him a bit too. He was more of a Xandronum player than anything, and Skulltag player.
I remember seeing him beat your ass once. Like not beat your ass, but like he beat you.
Yeah, I mean he probably used to be able to take games from me on like Mu2D and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He definitely has good aim as well.
I don't know. It's sort of big to me that like a guy could beat Demon Sphere like at any point in time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like to me, it means he's like a legit dueler with like really good aim and stuff. So I don't know, how can a player like that not become a good mid? So yeah, I think it shouldn't take too much schooling to get him up to Ralph's speed, so to speak. So
just got to learn how Ralph runs, dude, and then it'll be like easy money right there.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in action, but I think that Suck's looking good this year.
Listen, the one thing that that Ralph does every season is he takes, for me, he did it with me twice. He just takes people, and you just have that, turning fucking offense that doesn't stop, and it's a testament to him. He can do that with just about anybody. So,
The wheel.
you get somebody,
Murderer.
yeah, the wheel. You get somebody like Hopes, who is, um, better than most. I would say he was a steal in this draft, if you ask me. Um, they'll do some good things. So, and they will be playing the Sexual Panthers, which is Human Bones, Rude, Dastin, Evolution. From my own perspective, I had 3 people that I really wanted in this draft, and by the time I got up to nominate somebody, 2 of them had already been gone. So, um, my strategy was like, okay, I'm gonna nominate Rude for like 16, and then people will go, "Oh my god, that's a lot of money. I'm not gonna bet on him." And I was surprised when I did Rude 16, and then 10 seconds later he was up to 21, and I'm like, well, fuck, this is who I want, and I'm gonna be taking a chance, but I should just get him and then worry about our third later. So that's what I did. I got Rude for 22, and for me, the connection with Rude is just, at this point, it's obvious that it would be a good decision to get him. We've done a lot of good things together. So, Dastin as a third. Stab is taking a bathroom break or something. Dastin as a third. He's been doing really well in Prive. The other day, me and Dev played with him, and we were down like a couple flags, and Dastin just killed it and got some flags. So we ended up winning, and so I thought he's been playing really, really well, and he deserves a chance. I don't think anyone's really taken a chance on him to kind of show him or help him get to that next level. So I'd really like to do that for him, and he's got a lot of ability, and he's got a lot of what the hell is going on in the background over there?
I don't know.
There's a future for him. So, and I saw that just from our first practice. I was taking notes, and so also, I did not draft Evolution, but he was circled on my list as well. This is somebody that I've known since, oh god, he's like a year older than me, and I met him when I was 11. So, talking like 13, 14 years ago, and he's no scrub. He's been around. He was in a clan with Turska, DP. He was around in all the European clan wars and CTF tournaments and everything. So really, it's just a matter of getting him up to speed.
Leagues too.
Yeah,
he did a lot of. He was in a lot of the Euro dual stuff as well.
Yeah, so he's a really good player. He's just never been given a chance in a league of ours. So I'm happy to do that, and I think just from our one practice alone the other day, I feel a lot better about my team, and he's gonna kick some ass. So.
I think the only reason we saw him in the free agency after the draft is just simply because he hasn't shown up to a private CTF game. That's the only reason I think he was in free agency. Because I used to play CTF with him, I don't know, like 4 years ago or so on Z-Damon, and he was a very good player then. I do think it's funny that you say that you have a connection with Rude, like connection, because that is the reason I didn't want to draft Rude, because his connection is like up and down all the time. Like,
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, somebody like starts watching a YouTube video and Rude like just starts pinging from the moon.
Well,
I mean,
I've never had a problem with that during a game, though.
That is true.
Practice, sure. Practice, Rude will get up and go take a shower and not say anything to anybody. But during the game, he's there.
Yeah.
And I felt like between me and Rude, like we can do whatever we wanted. Like we know how we play. We just have that sort of synergy that's kind of unspoken.
That's how me and Dev were. Last season, like we felt like we could put each other anywhere on a position in the map. So because both of us know how each other plays, so that's just you don't have to call out as much, and you know which route someone's going to take 90% of the time or whatever. You know where to go to back someone up in a certain situation and stuff like that. Dastin, though, I do agree Dastin's gotten a lot better too. I didn't expect him to get drafted ever. Like and like the history of the WDL.
Well,
And seeing him being picked up by Bones, I was like, wow, so okay, he actually is, from the games I've seen him in private ZTF, he's getting
Well,
better. He's getting a
this
lot
is-
more mouthy too.
yeah, a little.
Infinitely.
I mean, look. Like I said, I drafted Rude for $22, and I had to take what was there. And at this point, it's like, well, this is what I'm going to do. I went through and I rewatched the practice demos, and I took notes. So I took notes for.
No, come on,
Yes,
let me
I
see
did.
that again.
I did. I took notes for Evolution and Aston. And so what I'm going to
Wow.
do is the next time we practice, this is what you got to do. I don't think anyone really ever sat down, and Daston's never had a chance to play in a team. So this is
Do you
what.
think I should do this for Zach and the Dragon?
Maybe this is why I've never won a WDL yet.
I think
Think that would work out?
I'm going to leave that subject alone
You think that would work out? No. Okay.
for those two specific people. Anyway, so that I'm pretty excited about my team after our first practice. So, it'll be work in progress, but like most of my teams, that's the way that they are. So,
Yeah. SXP, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about still. Yeah, sounds like it. Daston, man, yeah, I'm proud of that dude. Like he's one of ours. I mean, he's not one of ours, but like, you know what I mean? Like he's one that like started as a
He's always been around.
free agent. In season probably 1, I would think. Right? I'm sure he was there because Daston's always there. Yeah, or that's the thing about him though. He's always always wanting to play, get better. And God, it's like super satisfying to see somebody like just take the next step. And he took the next step probably like a year ago, I'd say. And then into this, like I feel like over the last year it's happened. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it was before then, but there's definitely been a change from last season to this season. Even I would say, but last season he was picked and he played in some games and he was picked as a fourth last year. And this year, now he's picked as a third. Awesome. Love to see that. And, like, I thought it was a legit pick by you. And, like, some other people have, different feelings about Daston than, like, we do, like in the Xandro community, where he obviously has more exposure or is more known, just he hasn't been on a team since or besides last year here. So, but, yeah, so then so I'm happy to see that. I think he could be your runner, I'm thinking what you're probably thinking about.
Nope.
Although the other day in a prive he played I think with me in Demon Sphere or no? I forget who it was, but
I'm not sure.
He played D twice in a row, like 2 maps in a row.
Oh, he did play D with me on. Yeah, we did win with him on D.
Yeah, me too. Like every time we did it, we would win. Like so. I think he's gotten better as an all-around player. Where before he was a runner, and I think early on, a couple, handful of years ago, he was getting by on speed and leg. Then maybe he got a little better. Now he's definitely expanded his game to like the point where he can play other positions than just like you pick him on a prive and you're like, okay, definitely for him. Not so much.
Yeah, he's got he's got way better decision making, I think now is the thing. Like that's definitely showed on D whenever I put him on D.
Yep. He's becoming a complete player. And Evo surprised the hell out of us 'cause we don't know much about Evo here in the WDL. Well, I guess he's been around for a while, but like I haven't seen him play, and he was really good. I thought when you swapped him in for Daston too, so that's kind of exciting too. I love to see these fresh faces like subbing in and doing really good, especially against like a team like mine where it's like all proven veteran WDL players. And then they were just holding their own, so that was pretty cool. So, yeah, based on the practice that I had with your team, I would say that you're going to be just fine. Like the first couple maybe didn't go so well, but then like all the rest of the games after that, like where, like I was kind of saying earlier, there was no blowout.
I'd say SXP in 3 for this one as well. Also, a 3
Really?
rounder. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Ralph Bones in week 1. So
I think SXP is going to take it. Yeah. I think SXP is going to take the first round. I think the second round they're going to tie. In the third round, SXP is going to take it home.
I don't know what to say. I haven't seen.
Just giving Ralph fuel now.
Yeah, right. I haven't seen Ralph's team play, but I guess just from like seeing a lot of people's predictions and like having downer opinions about SXP without seeing them, like I guess I'm gonna say it's gonna be real tight because like sounds like people had the same opinion about Ralph's team, and then when they saw him, they were like surprised. It's kind of stupid. Like, why would you ever be surprised by a Bones team or a Ralph team? Like being kind of good. Like, so I think it's gonna be tight, and I don't know. Prediction wise,
I can tell you why that is, because they're not used to having an 8-team season. There were plenty of seasons where you could take a season that me and Ralph played together in the IDL as a good example. He drafted me, and the way that the draft worked back then was he didn't get another pick for like what was it, like 10 players or something. So we ended up, it was me, Ralph, Rhombus, who Demon Sphere knows, and Mad V. And it was like, in comparison to some of the other teams, a lot of people thought that team was shit, but it was actually really good. So, that's part of what playing in 8 teams is going to be. It's going to be, picking those unheralded players and making them better throughout the season, and doing your best with what you got. So, yeah, SAC is going to be interesting. I know exactly how Ralph plays on map 20, but that does not mean that I'm going to be able to stop him. So, not looking forward to it at all.
Yeah, if I have to give somebody an edge, I'll say Suck, just because Ralph is so good there. But I don't know.
All right, so we've got Regulators versus the Dream Team. That's game of the week for me. Regulators being J Warrior, Ross King, Goblin, and HTG, and the Dream Team this season. It's a literal fucking dream team. It's Demon Sphere, Turska, Denzoa, and I fucking can never pronounce this guy's name.
Sparrow.
Barrel, okay. All right, so where do we start? DS. I don't even think I need to say anything about this guy. He's proven to be probably the best fucking player in the game today. So you team him up with Turska, who is an insane runner. He's just always able to get something out of there, and like we were watching him map 21, that one game like 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago or something like that, where he was just running those corners like they were fucking butter. It was just so nice to watch. And Denzoa, of course, Denzoa plays like he doesn't have the ping that he has. Denzoa plays like he's got fucking 20 ping. He's getting more frags than anybody else. And Sparrow, I played with him in the IFL. He's a fucking monster defender too. So I don't even know what to say about this team. It's just an unbelievable amount of frag power and intelligence. So I'm pretty intimidated by this team. And as far as map 20 goes, they're going to be just fine. Just fine.
I don't know anything about the Sparrow, but I hear good things. So I know that like a Demon Sphere team, like all he really needs is him and his other guy, like him and Dev. Now he's got him and Turska. Now he did have him and Dragon a season. It didn't work out, but that's I think the exception, and I think that like Demon Sphere and Dev obviously is a great matchup. Team, it's a great tag team. It's like all time great. And I think that you and Turska, just from what I've seen in Prive, obviously play well together. So I think that the third, as long as they're competent, Hex, you guys were able to take him to the championship last year, and Hex is a solid player. So as long as you got a solid third, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see you make it to the. Oh shit! Okay, well now you guys are really scary. I forgot about that. Yeah, Denzoa. Okay. So like I talked about how Hopes, beat Demon Sphere in a duel. Like, I forgot his name. Denzoa. He was on my team last year. He can beat
Hey, he
you
was
in a
on mine
duel
too.
too, right? I mean,
He takes me
that's
in
how good.
SSL. Yeah, he takes me in SSL too every few games. Yeah.
Man, that's how good that dude is. So, you know, and him and I and Jay Warrior had a pretty decent team last year. After like we had some scheduling issues with Wazop, I still ended up making the playoffs and like being a dangerous team. So Demon Sphere and him and Turska, yeah, that's kind of scary. He's got a dedicated runner. Ugh. Yeah. I definitely
Now-
see you guys as like probably the top team out there, maybe.
Our game just got scheduled, by the way.
Ooh.
When is that? Will you tell us when your game is scheduled, and then also talk about your team?
Okay. It is at 12 p.m. on Saturday.
What?
12, 2 p.m. What is this?
12
I like
p.m. Eastern on Saturday. About my team, yeah. I thought
Holy
it was really
cow.
funny. I thought it was really funny on yeah, it's really early for me on a Saturday. But it's like
It's 11 for us.
yeah. Yeah, it is 11 for us, yeah. But no. After the draft, I thought it was really funny because like I was happy with my draft. Like everyone was like, what the fuck is DS doing? They're like, dude, you're the fucking Euro whisperer or whatever. Because I was just like nominating Euros and drafting Euros left and right. And I was like, look, man, I played with Turska, like 2 seasons ago. Me and him play really well together. I can put Turska anywhere. His ping does not hinder him as much as like a lot of people think. So I put him on D 2 seasons ago. I can't remember what map I put him on D, but I did put him on D. And it turned out that was probably the greatest choice I could have made because he just was a smarter D player there than me. Or
When the hell did you have Turska?
Like
I think
last
Who,
one.
who
Yeah,
else was on your team?
Ding Dang. I believe it was me, Ding Dang, and Turska.
Why the fuck don't I remember that?
The dinger.
The Dinger.
Dang.
We played map 21 on that,
Yeah.
and
Was Turska's fucking amazing breakout. Not that he needed another breakout game, but
Oh, that's when I was stuck on
that's the
D on
rocket
that
jump.
fucking map. I was stuck on D on that map, and Turska was just like fucking running circles around me. That was ridiculous. Oh my god.
it's the season. It's the season that I went for that rocket jump and got the elastic collision and shot backwards.
that was the last one.
Because I remember freaking out in TeamSpeak, just like
cursing.
I was cursing left and right, just making no sense in TeamSpeak. And Tursko with this like very thick Finnish accent is like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like neither of them saw what had happened, and so like, what's going on? But no, yeah, me and Tursko play together. We play well together. We have good communication after and before practices of what either of us think about, like what to do or what we should do, should not do. Denzoa, I dueled Denzoa a lot. Denzoa's very hot-headed, so and I think I keep him cool pretty well. Like I'm pretty good at being like, hey dude, just shut up, just keep playing, it's fine. Chill out, dude. So I usually say is like, shut up, dude, just chill out, it's fine. And then the Sparrow, he's a really friendly guy. He's always like really happy. The last few times I've heard him in TeamSpeak, a lot happier sounding than me on TeamSpeak. So it definitely brings some cheer to the team.
Where is he from?
UAE, the United Arab Emirates. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you got Belgium, UAE,
Finnish.
And okay, cool.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with my team. It's going to go good. I guess for the regulators, all I can really say is nothing cocky because I can't be cocky towards player like Jay Warrior or Ross King. Both very good players. Ross King is probably one of the best players ever in Doom, I think. Even though he's also a pretty cocky person. But I think he does hold some right to be as cocky as he is. Jay Warrior is probably easily the best defender in the entire league, hands down. Smartest mid player as well. HTG, I don't know much about HTG. Goblin, I don't know much about Goblin either. I've only played like Doom 2016 with Goblin a few times, but I know they're both pretty good players. I heard HTG probably, or Dev told me SGG has really good decision-making skills, and he was thinking about drafting him as well. So it'll be an interesting lineup. I really look forward to the game, and I wish Jay Warrior best of luck.
Oh, that's nice. Jay Warrior and some other people were telling me that HDG was somebody to look out for, which like I guess I must have fucked up in like my talent evaluation because I didn't come
Yeah,
away
you
with
fucked up and got Zach and Dragon and Tony. Oh God.
Yeah.
well, like I'm not saying that like I didn't come away with a good team, but like I didn't come away with like HTG on my list of like people to draft. But like some people had him like up there like as a legit starter, and so did Jay Warrior, obviously.
I think he is a legit starter.
Yeah. But yeah, Reg's gonna be good. I mean, as long as they're able to work out their schedule kinks, I know that that's an issue because like I think Rosking has an opposite schedule in some ways than Jay Warrior just by happenstance.
Than everybody else. No.
Well, Jay Warrior, what he told me is that like he's got kind of a crappy schedule himself, and then Rosking has kind of a crappy schedule. You can usually deal with one guy like that, but now theirs together are like just I don't know, making things tough. But I'm sure they'll work it out. We always do. So. So then assuming that they do, Jay Warrior and Rosking and anybody else is a dangerous team. So I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. I think it's pretty obviously a great team if they can get it together.
Yeah, and I mean you're talking about somebody in Jay Warrior that has won twice in WDL, and not just as a captain but as a player. Like DS said,
I mean, he was on monster teams. To be fair, just to not insult anybody's intelligence, but right.
I think most
he was a big part of those.
Were like monster. I mean,
yeah,
I could sit here and insult him if Water, Jay Warrior, and K-Blair lost, but they did not lose. Right.
But
still, you still have to go through and win all those games. That's not an easy thing to do. And
no, nothing's a given. Nothing's a given. I didn't.
No. I just
say that.
Clarifying my own.
I don't know why I jumped right out with that.
Well,
maybe it's because I lost in one of those teams. Probably it's like in the back of my head.
But so he's won twice. He's proven that he can get there. I have played him the last 3 seasons in the first round of the playoffs. Never an easy out at all. Especially last season. Last season was tough. And of course you have Rosking, who's an amazing player. Been around a long time, and he knows his shit, which is important. And Goblin's been around for a while as well, and Goblin played on a team with Jay Warrior, and they're friends. So I knew. Go ahead, jump in.
I forgot to talk about Goblin. I was going to say the exact same thing that you were going to say, is that they're friends. Him, Denzoa, and Goblin were in a clan. They've played together for years. So, and I've seen the way that they play. I don't know why, but for some reason, map 4 sticks out in my mind as like Jay Warrior and Goblin on map 4 is like this lethal combination. I don't know. They know how each other play, So
yeah, I think
to maybe somebody else like Goblin, might not be their ideal third, but like on that team, I think that Goblin's going to be, a perfect fit. So
having that connection is helpful. I mean, I was just talking about the one between myself and Rude. Same one with myself and Ralph. I mean, those teams just work no matter who your third is. But
me and Zachin.
Yes. But I was just remembering that one of the seasons, I think it was 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago maybe, we played a Jay Warrior team. When he had Goblin, we played...
Caution.
Yeah, so we played map 25.
Yep.
One that we played... Okay. So the first round we won they had Legion, I believe. and they took Legion out and put Goblin in, and they flipped the tables on us, and they won the second round. And then the third round was like back and forth. They kept Goblin in, so definitely having that connection, it's going to make that team really good. And as far as the matchup goes, this is a tough one to call. I think TDT is probably going to edge them out ever so slightly, and I say that because I think in terms of playing in a competitive league sense, I think the three guys on TDT might have a little bit more experience than say, even to say Goblin. So I think they might have just a slight edge, but at the same time, you can't really count out J Warrior or Ross King. I think they've got plenty of tricks up their sleeves. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tie, but right now I'm going to say that TDT wins it in 3.
Yeah, tight. I think it's going to be tight. Because who knows? But, and not having seen either team played, I just think that, Demon Sphere is super good on 21. J Warrior is really good on 21. And
Talking about 20.
Well, good thing we're playing map 20. But, I mean, I'm sure they're good.
20, sorry. 20. We were talking about 21 earlier. 20, Ross King is super good there, too. So, yeah.
All right. So,
21.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I would kill to never play you again on map 21.
As we all would.
Yeah.
So maybe not kill. That was a little far.
No, I would.
Yeah, I mean, give me the right person. Yeah. So the last game of week 1 is Team Devastation. You really need to come on. It's been 5 days or whatever. You pick a team name.
They had a name in earlier. HYP. I don't know what it stands for. Hype. I'm not sure.
High yield plasma. I don't know. Probably something to do with plasma because Dev wants to take a dig at me or something. So yeah, Team Dev versus Techno Vikings, which is a throwback to one of the team names that we had in the IDL. I love the fucking name Techno Vikings. I think it makes those two words do not go well together at all. They're just they have no connection. So why not put them together? Techno Vikings.
Well, I heard it was like an anime thing or something, or like a.
Yeah, I was just making a bad joke.
No, I like that observation. Yeah, it is.
So of course, Team Devastation is Devastation, Stark, on from that. Stark, Do, and Hex. Techno Vikings are Caution, Zanero, AVC, Ghost Killer. Talking about Team Dev first, I see a problem on offense. It's not that I don't think that these guys can run. I think they've all run in the past, but do they have that one player like a Rude or a Ralphus or a Turska that can just do whatever they want on offense? No, they don't. So I think they're going to have to play a lot of 2D shutdown defense here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dev running because Dev likes to do that. But I think it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be low scoring games. They're very high frag powering team here. So we've got. You can't say anything else about Dev that hasn't been said before. He knows everything that there is to know about Doom. Taught me how to play. So, and I'm the next Doom god. We've got Stark. Of course, Stark is a very decorated player. Stark's improved a lot. I think he's gone from being really just kind of a defender to expanding his game as a runner and a mid player. So really, you can play Stark anywhere. Hex, of course, we all know the story on Hex. Hex has been around a long time, and really, maybe because he's not so much a private CTF player, he doesn't get his due, and he doesn't get drafted by many people. Last season catapulted him into the minds of everybody. So Hex, rode that train into the finals and performed more than admirably. And so here's another player. I had Hex years ago, and he's a really good runner, but he's also moved his game from running to defending a little bit more.
He's versatile. Yeah, he spent a lot of that season with me and Dev, practicing his aim and shit, and like dueling with Dev. So And like him and Ding, like, man, got really good that season. But Hex eventually was like, I could put him anywhere. It was just a question of where. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. I was just kind of rambling on but so yeah, Dew, of course. Dew's been around forever. I ran the IDL in its later years with Dew. Dew became co-commissioner. He's he doesn't get a chance to play as much, but I saw him playing today, so that's good. Dew is very smart, and for someone with his ping, I think he's best. Like in European circles, he's a really good defender, and so his ping kind of hinders him from actually playing a lot of defense effectively. So he's more of a mid/O player in our leagues, and he's always been really good. I mean, I've played with Dew a couple times. He's won championships, so.
Oh, really?
I think Dev got a pretty good steal there on a player. If Dew can get back into it and start playing some more, it'll be really good for them. So, my only concern about that team is just the offense.
My only thing about that team is Dev's just got to decide where he wants to place himself. Is a huge issue with that team. Hex, place him anywhere. He definitely shines on mid and O. Or D and O rather. Sorry. Yeah, we picked him up and we put him on D on Smart CTF right off the bat. We just grabbed him and said, "Hey, you're playing D on Smart CTF." Sorry. And he was like,
I recall.
It's like, okay, sure, let's go. And he did like a phenomenal job with it. Like he did such a good job. I dropped Ding Dang and picked him up or whatever. I took him right after that. Stark. I think Stark's a good player. He's a little inconsistent though for me to draft him. Because he'll do really good one night, and the next night, he won't be able to hit anything. He won't have really good reaction time. If Dev can make him consistent, which I know Dev can, because Dev is all about taking the inconsistent players and lower tiered players and building them up to be, super consistent, super good. If Dev pulls that off, that right there is a huge lineup. For Dew, I've not seen Dew play like online and anything serious in many years. He did play private with us today, and he did good. He did okay. There's going to be a lot of work for Dev to get the rust off of Dew for him to play in season games, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with what you're saying. I mean, Stark can be like an A+ shutdown defender, on a given map and a given day, but we haven't seen a full season of it, So, right, it's gonna be a question of, I guess, because I would say the same thing about like Hex. Like Hex has maps where he will, just excel and have great games. Like in that season with me, I think he had games where like. If you want to go by the stupid, JWar rat system, I shouldn't say stupid, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's good. I don't know.
J Warrior. That's what he said.
No, not really. No. Yeah. But Hex had some good games that season, where like he clearly excelled, and Stark has those all the time. Just not all the time. You know what I'm saying? Dev has them all the time. But can he get these other guys, to bring their game up? So, potential on that team is high.
Yeah, and so then we go to the Techno Vikings, and for caution to get Zanero, who I put as much money down as I could on Zanero. I put $7 down, which is all I had for one player, and he countered with 8, and I threw a drink across the room. Really good pickup for the money. I know Zen's got a wonky schedule and everything, but even so, when Zen signs up, he's committed to playing the best that he can when he's asked to. So that was a huge steal. And then, to get the combination of AVC and Ghost Killer, who have probably been the most active the two most active players in private CTF since we started this whole thing with this season. They're best friends, so that can't hurt. You know,
Yeah,
his
like gay little butt buddies.
I get specific, but
I don't know. It's their words, not mine.
so what are you typing over here? Okay.
I'm not typing shit.
No, I was sorry. So ABC has a much better connection now, and he can run, you know, circles around a lot of people. He's become a very, very strong runner in my opinion.
He's tricky.
Yeah, he is. And Ghost Killer, you know, he's got some work to do as far as instincts go when he's defending or playing mid. But the aim is there. I mean, this is a guy who was getting like, you know, 80 to 90 frags in Prive, if not more. So, and caution, we all know how good he is. He can play anywhere. So really, it's kind of similar to what DS said about Dev. It's like, where does Caution want to put himself? But I would say that, in my opinion, I would put Caution in the middle because I don't think we'll see much of Zen this season, and there's really no need to as long as AVC and Ghost Killer perform well. So I would put Caution in the middle, supporting AVC and just try and get Ghost Killer to harness that ridiculous frag power that he has, and just, you know, get his instinctual, you know, side of it up.
I know what you mean, and what I would say is I would just say that, like, you know, if we're counting Zen out because of schedule reasons, which I'm not, you know, because I do kind of agree with what you're saying. Like, if he signs up, he's generally going to do his best to make these games and play. And we all saw how good his team could be, or how good a team with him could be in Caution last season. Because weren't they on the same team with Stark last year? And they had that, you know, face off with Suck, right? And winner went in. Yeah. Anyway, they're really good together. But anyway, if we're just talking like if he's not there, which could happen because Zanero has kind of said, like, you know, he's not sure, you know, he works till like 10 o'clock at night or something, and he's on West Coast time, you know, so there's going to be problems. But anyway, ABC dedicated, he's like one of those dedicated runners, you know, he's definitely got, if you're going to play ABC, you're going to play him at O. You know, that's a given. But I like, if we're just talking map 20, I would say based upon practice, I would say Caution's going to want to put himself, if possible, on D. And I only say that because, like, the only person that I had a harder time running against in practice than Bones was Jake, and he does a really good job on D there. And he does something that's like really subtle. He doesn't have, like, you know, better one-shot ability or like aim necessarily than Bones or some other defenders there, but like he puts himself in position better than everybody else on D. And what he does is he makes it so that when you're running at him, like, you know, you're going like full speed, you know, and on map 20 you're kind of trying to like you know, fly into base and make like a swing shot on the D, grab the flag and get out. You know, that's kind of what you're trying to do, because it's on a pedestal in, like, you know, the corner, and you gotta get it. Obviously, you gotta kill the D at least once, and then get out. And you're probably gonna have to make a shot on the way out. But, you know, regardless of the fact, on the way in, what he'll do is, you know, he's really good at making himself like super hard to one shot. Like he definitely like specifically stays like kind of like in your blind spots. It makes it real hard for you to swing and one shot and swing and kill. So what you end up having to do is like hesitate when you fucking run into base, which sucks. You don't want to do that. You want to go. So I don't know, man. I thought he was like, of anybody that I played D or against that was on D, because I think you put Root in at D on a couple maps. Bones.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Root's great, but he's not a great D on 20. Not like Jake is. So
yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah, if he could get Ghost Killer to like be a good mid and call out. Or if Zen can, make it and play mid, that's going to be a scary good team on 20, I think.
Yeah,
Because AVC can make those rocket jumps and shit. So
yeah, I'd have to agree with what you guys said about the Techno Vikings. Zen doesn't really have to show up because Caution, Ghost Kill, and AVC should be able to handle it. That's a really good lineup right there.
yeah.
Caution, great D on there. I think he's better D than me. Like you said, he plays it differently than every other D player you normally see. Ghost Killer, if you can get him to just settle down, simmer down, play mid, stop typing mid game, a bunch of dumb stuff. Yeah, he'll do good. AVC, he's just an in and out runner. He doesn't take any shots in anything half the time. So that can be kind of bad on 20 or any map really for the runner to do 0 damage. But I think they're going to do just fine. I think my prediction for this before I have to head out, unfortunately, is. I think Techno Vikings is going to take it in 2 against Team Dev. So,
yeah, I actually agree with that.
You think Dev's going to take it?
No. I think Techno Vikings is going to win in 2 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that because
I agree with that too.
I think Techno Vikings just have their positions down already set more so than Dev's team does. So,
yeah. All right. See you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yep. Thanks,
All right,
DS.
man.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean that kind of covers all the games. I mean,
That's pretty much it. So
yeah.
shame he couldn't take another 30 seconds out of his,
Well,
busy schedule. But
we want to invite him back.
nah, he's gone. Get out of here.
Banished. Yeah, so you know what? I love opening up on maps like Map 20, where it's a known map. So there's going to be close games.
Right. Yeah, right. Like we opened with 20 on season 2, and my team with J Warrior and Legion, I think, played a game against Rude's team, and we tied every round. I think the first time and last time that ever happened, maybe not. I think that's the case. Every round ended in a tie. It was great. But yeah, that's what I expect to see here. Tight games. But a familiar map is the way to do it to open a season, especially with 8 teams now and new faces, and especially new combinations across the board.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, so I guess that just about wraps up everything about week 1. So, like I said, 2 of the games are scheduled, I believe.
Yeah, mine and Demon Sphere's Saturday at noon is Demon Sphere against.
Yep, and that would be against the Regulators and High Friction Men versus GPS. Sunday, February 12th.
Sunday.
2 p.m. EST. I'm sure the other 2 games will get scheduled soon. So, yeah, until that, can only see what happens, right? So
I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
We'll have a lot more to talk about next week.
We will. So, yeah, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks, Deb.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.